Welcome back to another episode of the Student Athlete Sessions presented by D3 Direct. Today we are joined by another duo. Last week we had the co-founders of the Not Even D2 podcast, both men's basketball players out of the Empire 8. Today we're joined by two teammates from Emerson, from the men's basketball team. We have Shay Raban and Guillermo Gasset Ruiz, both juniors. Guys, welcome to the program.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. As we were talking before the show, you guys are on the cusp of another season. Just walk the audience through like what you guys are, where you are right now, and kind of what's going on as student athletes at Emerson.
Yeah. So right now we're about a month into kind of our preseason process, I guess. We get here on campus, everyone gets back around September 1st, and it does ramp up pretty quick. There's captain's practice, which are ran without the coaches, where we play mostly pickup in our conditioning, and we have a lifting program we follow weekly. Tomorrow starts our first official practice. As of a couple years ago, they sanctioned 8 preseason official practices. So we all get to get on the court with our coach and work on some stuff heading into the season. So we're really excited to get that in tomorrow. And then mid-October, we start our official practice in terms of it being consecutive days in a row. And we hopefully don't stop for as long as we can keep winning games.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And the change to mix it up and give you guys some more flexible practice time, I know has been widely hailed as a positive thing by the coaches I've talked to, but like how do you guys view it as players? Has it been helpful? Is it fun to get on the court earlier?
Yeah, I mean, I think we love it because even though pickup is fun, after a while it just gets repetitive. We love being able to have a chance to get ready for the season, get everyone on the same page, and then that just makes pickup more constructive. It makes us play better together, and I think we just want to play as much as we can together. We only have 4 years, so the more we play, the more fun we have. And I mean, I've been loving these early practices. They are a little tougher conditioning wise, um, but the earlier the better, you know.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
agree with that. Also, the cool thing is we still have captain's practice and pickup going on between those games. So when we're able to get on the court and see little glimpses of the stuff we want to do, we're able to then have, like a 2-hour block where we're playing 5-on-5, where we could take some of these concepts and implement it in a way that during the season, once that starts and your game prepping and all that, you don't get that 2-hour period of time to just play and explore with different things as freely as you do in pickup. So to be able to implement like team concepts and stuff we're going over and those fall practices into some of our later pickups and captains practices is super, super valuable.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure yeah, like you said, getting the time on the court with the guys is helpful. Um, just for recruits listening to this who want to be where you are playing in college, like help us understand, quantify like what does that preseason look like from a time schedule? Because you've mentioned all these things you have, but like you guys going 6 days a week, um, just so the recruits can understand how what this looks like.
Yeah, so I mean, every school does it a little bit differently. Um, right now we're having pickup 3 times a week and then conditioning 2 times a week, and plus any like we always have the gym at a certain time because since we have to share it with a bunch of other teams on sports on campus, we always have it blocked so we can shoot and work out by ourselves too. And then, as Shay mentioned, once we implement these preseason practices, we'll have 1 week, we'll have 2 practices in a week and then 1 pickup. And the next week, we'll have 1 practice and 2 pickups. So it'll be changing depending on the week, whatever the coach feels like is more applicable. And then we'll always run. Conditioning never
That's a
conditioning never
consistent.
changes. Yeah, that stays for us Tuesdays, Thursdays. We
Yeah.
go out in the Boston Common and we run on the hills. So
Oh
that's
wow.
the
Yeah. Because for people that aren't familiar, maybe didn't grow up in the Northeast, or like walk us through where Emerson is as a school.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Emerson. Oh yeah, go ahead, Shay.
Emerson, we're right in the mecca of Boston. We're in downtown. We're across the street from the Commons, so really as central as you can be in Boston. So we don't have a true campus. We are where Tremont Street and Boylston intersect. It's about a block and a half of school buildings and dormitories. And that's where we are. Our gym's there. It's underground. So we're really immersed right in the middle of the city, which is a really unique opportunity. Like Guillermo said, we get out on the hills and the commons. And we're running out there. We do our conditioning out there, and we're passing by people seeing us, and like we're within the city. People are walking back home from work and they're passing by us running in the park. So it's a pretty cool opportunity to go to school and play in such a unique area. Like we play Suffolk once a year, and when we play away there, we literally walk as a team to the game. It's that
Yeah.
close, which is pretty cool.
Is the coach at Suffolk still Jeff? Let's see, what's Jeff's last name? Jeff Giron, is that still the head coach?
Um, I
I don't know.
I don't
And then,
remember his name.
oh, it's all
Yeah,
right.
with you.
We know a couple of the assistants because one of them was a graduate from Emerson. So
Oh, how about that?
but yeah, the head coach, I'm not too sure.
I just
Gotcha.
Googled it for you though, and it is
That
Jeff
okay,
Toronto
Oh,
is
okay.
great,
still the
There
great.
head
you
coach.
go.
So there we go.
Yeah, thank you for confirming that.
I thought I could Google it in before I responded, but I couldn't quite spell basketball right, so it gave me the baseball head coach. But
All
we're good
good,
now, yeah.
all good. I am curious, like with recruiting, like such a big factor of where you pick to go to school is your like the location of campus, and um obviously like choosing to be in Boston, being in that like in an urban environment where you have a lot more activity than like let's say going to some places more in the country. What else did you guys prioritize? You were coming from different situations. Obviously, like you're both juniors now at the same school, but like Guillermo, you were born in Spain, went to
Yep.
school in Germany. Shay, came up in Long Island, New York, and you went to Holderness. So, like, what other factors were you guys evaluating throughout the recruiting process? What did your processes look like?
You want to go first, Jake?
Yeah. So for me, the most important thing was just to play. I didn't want to go to school to sit a couple of years and then maybe fight for a minute. Like I just wanted to play. So I knew that when I visited the schools and obviously for me academics is very important too. Location I didn't really mind since I've lived in like 6 different countries. So I'm used to everything. I feel like I'm pretty adaptable in like whatever location I'm in. So for me, the most important thing was to play. And yeah, from Germany, didn't really get many looks. I had a couple options in JUCO, some D3s, one D2, but I wasn't really 100% sure. So I took a post-grad year and went to IMG Academy in Florida. And then from there, that really gave me all the information and knowledge I needed about schools and the systems in the US to make my choice. Um, it wasn't a smooth ride. I thought I was going to be going to a different school until the day before I committed. They told me that they didn't have a spot for me anymore. So I kind of had 2 different recruitment processes. Um, but ultimately, I think I made the right choice coming to Emerson, and I mean, I've played a lot. I've started since my freshman year, and I'm very happy with where I'm at. So I think, yeah, that's my story.
Yeah. Real quick, Shay, before you go, I just wanted, like, I went through the same thing where I kind of had a recruitment that I thought was happening, and like go up for the official visit, and then I get a call the day before, and the coach said, "Oh, we gave your spot to someone else. Like, we're no longer recruiting you." So I think just for kids listening to this, like it is something that happens. I ended up,
Yep.
my situation ended up working out. Guillermo's situation ended up working out. So like, just in case you're in that mode and it feels like the end of the world, remember that like there is still a positive outcome that can come from it all. And yeah, just as long as stay positive, keep working on it. Shay, go ahead.
Yeah, recruitment process is it's a crazy time. It's hard to navigate. It's hard to just before I get into my story, like to understand what you really want in a school and what you want, and situating yourself somewhere for 4 years that's going to be a vehicle for success for the future too. It's really hard to figure that out and to figure out the recruiting and who wants you. But yeah, my story was I went to from Long Island, New York. I went to my local public school there, and my AAU coach at the time he suggested that I explore prep schools, just because competition wasn't great around there, and he thought it would be a really good exposure opportunity. And he put me in touch with a bunch of schools. Some came and watched me play, and I ended up going to Holderness School, which is a school in New Hampshire. Great program there, really great coach, Woody Catman. Still close with him today. He's a great guy. I got there, I was there for a couple months, and then I tore up my knee pretty bad going into my second junior year, my first year at the school. I really only played about 8 games or so in the later half of the season. With my knee was pretty screwed up, so I was hobbling around. But I pretty productive 8 games. I averaged like 10 or 11 points and shot really well from three. So I had some of that, and I went into the spring, summer. I didn't rehab my knee properly and came back way too fast. So it was a long process. I couldn't really play outside of showcases. I'd go to a showcase and my knee would swell up really bad after a day of playing, and it would take like a week to get it back to the point where I could play again. So it was just really weird process of like, all right, I got to gear up for a day of basketball with a lot of Advil, and then I can't play for like a week or two after. But I got through the spring and summer, and in a lot of pain when I got back, but I put myself in a situation where I was able to talk to a few schools and played well when I had the opportunity to. Um, I had actually verbally committed to a school that I thought was going to be a really, really good fit. Basketball wise, it was just a great offense. It was a really good school. And I kind of verbally agreed to it. The interesting thing, though, and which is important to do your due diligence in person when it comes to a school, like visiting the school and being there in person, like talk to the players. How do you feel there? What's the energy in campus? Like, do you really see yourself there? And when I went on my visit to that school, the answer was no. And I went there the day after I had visited Emerson, and I stayed overnight at Emerson. I was there for 2 days, and I had an incredible experience. Just got along really well with the guys. Being in the city was incredible. Emerson academically, it was a really good fit with what I want to do in player representation. Hopefully, working in the sports world, there's a lot of great resources for that, and it was just a really cool spot. And I felt like a very strong gravitational pull towards wanting to go here. And the place that I had originally landed on going to was the opposite. I was like, I don't want to be here. Um, the week after that, my knee was hurting really bad in the fall going into my senior year. And I had played with the schools I had visited, gone to a number of schools, and it just was in a lot of pain, not getting better. Got another MRI, found out I had progressively retorn the ligament that I tore originally. So I was going to go into my senior year, hopefully weighing out options, playing out each game, talking to coaches, seeing them at the games, because the NEPSAC, the school that I went to, the conference, is so great about that. And that's another thing we could talk about. But at that point, I was like, I need to get surgery, so I have to make a decision. And Emerson was at the top of my board, and it felt like home when I went there. And it was something that I could explain with reasoning too, of why I wanted to go there. Like, there was solid reasoning as to why, but I had a really good gut feeling about the place. So got the surgery, committed, sat out my senior year, and then it's so far been a great experience. I've played a bit, mostly rotational minutes off the bench, the last couple years, but I've been able to have a solid role, and looking forward to this year, and it's been an incredible place for my growth as a person, and beyond the 4 years playing basketball, it's just been a really great environment to be in for me as a person. So
Mm.
really happy that I went with that decision of what felt good, because my gut was definitely telling me the right thing there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think your story is, I mean, there's so many things in there. One is just like resilience in the face of injury. I think it's something we hear a ton from parents and kids. It's like, oh, I had this great process going and then I broke my ankle, or like, broke my collarbone or whatever it is. And I couldn't play my entire senior year. Now I have no tape and they're all worried. And I think like it is just a matter of, continuing to do what you did. Go get on campus, see the school, like keep your process going. Don't like give up on it. And then yeah, trust, like there is the reasonable, rational side of things. Like you can try to consult rankings, like think about, is the school going to have my major, that type of thing. But then, as you pointed out, Shay, like at the end of the day, if you go on the visit and you're like, I don't want to be around these guys or ladies, it really does speak volumes more than just like a coach being interested in you. Um, so definitely had some of those visits on in my own process where I like to tell the story. One time they took me to an off-campus party, and this is before Uber was a thing, and so we're like 15 minutes away, and then they just like di ditched me at this party, and uh, so yeah, definitely did not come back to that school.
That's
Um,
bad. That's really bad.
Yeah,
it was tough. It was not a
that's
great
awful.
look,
The visit
but
the visit I went on to the school I verbally committed to, they got me like a hotel and situated me, which was really nice. But I was there for 3 days, 2 nights. Not a single time, like no one on the team came to see me. So every day I just kind of hung out on my own, and every night I was on my own. And there was no like I didn't see anyone on the team really. So I think from like the coach's perspective too, like how you set up those visits is really important. Because like
yeah,
sitting alone in the school's in a rural area, like in a hotel and doing nothing, like that definitely played a role too.
yeah. Was the coach aware that no one like because normally they're setting up like times people for you to go to class with, like did that not?
Yeah. I told the coach towards the end of it that happened, because he was like the coach wasn't there throughout my visit there. When I told him about it, he was pretty pissed. But it was more of like when are you ready to like sign the papers kind of. I mean, there's not officially signed for D3, but like they were under the impression it was a done deal. So it was kind of a really interesting process towards the end of it, when
Yeah,
I was telling them that I was considering still other options and all that. It was a very tricky conversation. Um, it was a difficult one.
yeah. But
Yeah.
again, similar to Guillermo's situation, it sounds like you guys have both you navigated the turns and like
Hmm.
you found yourself in a great spot. And I love what you're doing now. Both of you at Emerson, you guys, you know, I first became aware of you. I saw this like college athlete network that you guys are working on Instagram. And I mean, I'll paraphrase my understanding of the mission, but I'd love for you guys to fill in the gaps here. But it seems like what you're trying to do is take these learnings that you guys have had from your experiences, these ups and downs, and navigating the process, and you're trying to connect college players, current college players, with future high school college players who are currently in high school, and do it for free. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that is pretty accurate. So yeah, we started this because we, in our processes, we both wouldn't be where we are without our mentors. I know I had a lot of great coaches and advisors in Florida and in Germany that helped me through my recruitment journey. And yeah, we wanted to do this as a way to give back, but also just like we know how many kids have missed opportunities just because they don't have the knowledge that well that we also didn't have, but we were lucky to have because of the mentors we got. So yeah, we help not only with recruiting, we also bring the our mentees or the kids we help on to campus for workouts. We help them through the NIL process. We're partnering with an NIL agency, and also through the mental side, because being a student athlete and going through this process has a lot of impact on your mental on the mental side of the sport. And we want to be a resource for these kids to reach out and help with in any way we could.
Yeah. Shay, anything to add there?
Yeah, that covers it pretty well. I mean, like Guillermo said, we both had a lot of people who have, been mentors to us throughout the process. For me, it was mostly coaches, but it's really a lot easier for kids to connect with a college player who's been through the process that they're going through just a couple years out. And it is free. We're still working on our 501(c)(3) certification for it and going through the application process, but it is free entirely because um, we believe that the resource we're offering is something that kids really need, and we want to be able to provide it on as large of a scale as possible. And offering that for free allows us to help more kids, especially kids who might not be able to pay a ton of money to go to a prep school or AAU or have certain trainers that can connect them in certain ways, because we really saw how the financial barrier of entry for the recruitment process in general has risen. And that's in a lot of non-obvious things. Like, it's not just the cost of maybe hiring like a recruiting agent, but it's what school do you go to? What team do you play for? What are you able to do to put yourself in a position to be seen? And again, the financial barriers for those have gone up a lot recently. So we figured we could offer something for free because we don't have to pay to give our knowledge. So that means we don't have to charge people to receive it. Um,
Yeah.
so it's been really cool so far being able to have that impact the way people did for us.
Yeah. I mean, I love the idea. And honestly, like it's a big, it aligns very closely with like the reasons I started D3 Direct. It's, I had to, in my own process, I had to figure everything out and was starting at zero. I didn't know anyone who had really gone this route. And so my idea, so like, how do I standardize information across platforms and do it at scale so that families have one place to go to and they can understand things that can be complicated, like financial aid and, um, like how to determine if a coach is actually interested in you and all these things that I'm sure your mentors in the program will be able to provide. So I would just say, yeah, I love it. And what is the vision for you both? I know you're juniors, you're both um let's see, you're both doing sports communication. Guillermo's a major, Shay, you're a minor, if I have that right. Um, and you're both interested in player representation. So like what do you, if you had a perfect picture 10 years from now, what are you guys both doing?
Well, for me, well, I'd love to stay here in the US, work with either an NBA team or agency. I mean, or sports in general have been a part of my life my whole life. So I wanted to stay like that. And I also want to keep the College Athlete Network, a part of my everyday life too. I don't want it to stop after we're out of college. I want it to leave it like a legacy. Emerson and all the other schools that are participating, like we have Tufts, Brandeis, University of New England, Elms, and many more to come. And I want this to be like it's like a thing that keeps going, like the generations, the mentees turn into mentors, and we just keep helping each other. I mean, that's hopefully in the next 10 years, this can grow to like something great.
Yeah, my 10-year vision is pretty similar to that. I've known for quite some time that I want to be working in sports and specifically player representation. So my goal 10 years from now is to hopefully be running an agency of my own. And I would love for that to look like and involve and incorporate the college athlete network. And like Guillermo said, leaving a legacy behind at Emerson and continuing to build out that network after we graduate and as we're doing different things in the sports world and elevating ourselves professionally, being able to also elevate the college athlete network where it's growing along with us would be really cool, and continuing to build it out as not just a national but global thing that's able to really help kids all around the world
Yeah,
and in different
that's
sports too. Like if it can grow to
Yeah.
that's definitely like a vision we'd like to have for the future too.
for now. It's only for basketball at the moment?
Correct.
Yeah, at the moment we've had talks with some of the soccer teams, or sorry, soccer players at Emerson that have said that they were interested in, adding to the mission. Uh, but I think for now we want at least like a year and a half of just basketball to concentrate on the foundation and to make sure everything is functional.
Makes sense.
Yeah, before we expand, because this is new to us. We're not professionals. We're just college students trying to help, and it's a process. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. But you're not just college students. You're college. You've gone through the process. You have an informed opinion, and you're like you have a vision too. So I think I'm excited to see how it turns out. I think if I just in terms of helping people figure out how to access this, like if there's a high school basketball player out here who hears this podcast and wants to get involved, what should they do?
Yeah. So if there's a player who wants to get involved, they should look up the College Athlete Network on Instagram, College Athlete Network, and shoot us a DM asking to get involved. I mean, we've done a lot of our outreach and connecting through Instagram. It's a personal way to be involved with a lot of guys. They showcase their brand as players through that. So it's easy to get a glimpse into kind of what different guys are as people and players also when they're kind of showcasing a little bit of both on their page. So I would say to reach out and we would love to help
yeah,
anyone who wants to be helped. We want to help people who want to be helped and are as passionate about their recruitment process as we are about helping people because no one is going to be a better advocate for you than yourself. And as much as we are able to help and we started this to help, we're only able to help people as much as in players as much as they want to be helped and want to take what we're offering. So for any kid that is serious about the recruitment process, maybe you're anxious, maybe you're scared. I've been scared before too, and is in a place where they feel like they might need a little bit of guidance. College Athlete Network, we're here to
yeah,
help.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like based on your guys' website, so this is collegeathletenetwork.net, that
yeah.
you're hosting like a recruiting camp too this fall. Is that right at Emerson?
Yeah. We should probably update that. It'll be this spring. We were planning on doing it this fall, but as we said, it's a process, so we had to delay it a little bit. But that is part of our vision to have free camps where players don't have to pay to play. And we have many connections at Emerson that we can reach out to coaches in the area. I'm in Boston. There's like 25 schools in the in the Boston area. So I have coaches there, have players, and yeah. So a camp is also in the near future.
Great. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Both give people the soft skills and the information to figure it out, but then also that in-person opportunity that can be so uh, you know, life-changing in terms of starting to get real offers and real interest from coaches. So very cool. Um, I'm sure you guys are well aware about the Emerson to NBA and pro basketball connections that are out there. The obvious one that everyone kind of knows is Sam Presti, the GM of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who has been NBA GM of the Year numerous times. But I'm curious, like from your standpoint, how you guys talked about the mentors that you use during your recruiting process, but like what is the mentorship within the Emerson network for guys like yourself who want to go be involved in professional sports looked like on the ground?
Yeah, so there's this thing in Emerson that we call the Emerson Mafia. So it's all the Emerson alumni. They're really, really helpful and they're really open to help any Emerson student when we reach out. We've had the we've had the luck to be able to discuss with Sam Presti, with Rob Hennigan, with all these Emerson alums that work in the NBA. And yeah, it's been great. That wasn't the thing I was aware of when I chose Emerson. But it's been great so far, really. Mm.
Yeah, they've been really awesome. And just in terms of helping as mentors, in terms of guidance, and hey, this is left, this is right kind of thing in this world has been really cool. And say similar to us, they're willing to help people who are really passionate and want to be helped. There's no one going and giving out jobs to people because they went to Emerson, but they've been really, really cool. Guys have come and spoke to our team and been really, really great just about helping with guidance in really any realm that guys on the team at Emerson have needed and reached out for.
Hmm. Have you two read Pipeline to the Pros by Ben
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaplan? Okay, yeah. I was gonna say that does a good job of explaining how it's not like D3 guys aren't giving jobs away for free. It's very much like it's there are beneficial network effects, but guys are working for it and definitely putting the time in. Um, but that's a great one for anyone who's interested to know how deep the D3 ties are in the pro game of basketball. Um, yeah, I think switching back to you guys on the court at Emerson, obviously, like, you're underclassmen. Shay, like you're saying, you've been a rotation guy. Guillermo, you said you've gotten some good minutes. Like you're stepping into a different role as upperclassmen. I'm curious, like, about how you want to, you know, do on the court this year, like what your goals are for team success, and then like how you're gonna, you know, what kind of culture you guys are trying to implement, or maybe changes you're trying to make at Emerson.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Shay and I can agree on this, but we're definitely leaders now coming into our junior year. We're definitely, we're big on trying to connect with the team, not only on the court but off the court. Like create a bond between us. It's not just basketball. Like really create a brotherhood. Um, the last couple of years, I think we weren't as good as we could have been because of that, because we didn't play together. We didn't use each other's strengths to the best ability, and that's something me and Shay really want to change. Um, and personally, I think I need to be a little more aggressive, taking more shots, and passing. I don't need to pass the ball to Shay more, so he can make more threes. Um, but yeah, I think this year with the team we have, and we have the ability to turn some heads. I think not many people think we're gonna win a championship with some of the big teams in our conference like WPI and Babson, those big names. But I think this year is our year to take.
Yeah, Shay, anything from you?
Yeah, I think I definitely came into college basketball and Emerson with more of a self-oriented thought process about my goals and how I approached it. And a lot of that was built on 2 years in a row of not playing basketball. I had certain things I wanted to do and self-validating things to achieve going into prep school, and I left that like pretty much not playing. So I came in more self-oriented, but what I really view in college as being, and as a college athlete being valuable long term, is beyond the shots you made, like the connections you have with your teammates and what you leave behind. So winning a championship is the goal. Like we really want to win our conference. We really wholeheartedly believe we have the best team in our conference, and then to compete as far as we can in the NCAA tournament. Like we all want to be able to come back to that gym one day and be able to look up on the banners and see something that represents all of us in some way. So that is the big goal. That's what we're every single day is building towards, that to win to win our conference and go as far as we can in the tournament. And team culture wise, that I agree with everything Guillermo said. It's harder than you think at the college level too, especially maybe having a group of guys 1 through 20, not just the guys playing, everyone who is bought in to that goal of trying to win. Because even guys who don't play at all play a pivotal role in the team, because they're in practice. Like the scout team, even though those guys might not play, they're the reps that the starters are getting, for 3 days in a row before a game, and that's going to set the tone to how they approach that game. So everyone really matters who's a part of it, and having a team where there's a level of connectivity to that on and off the court. We're a really close group of guys. We have a really cool bond as teammates, but seeing that on the court in a way where we're just constantly in a flow with each other and playing together is what's going to take us from a good to a great team, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you guys are both spot on. Like it's very much a challenge to get everyone on the same page. And, especially when D3 student athletes have so many other commitments and things, competing priorities, it is, you're all there because you do care about sports, but sometimes it could be, it could just feel like, okay, maybe basketball's not the most important thing right now because I had this massive final coming up for a class. And so, yeah, I think establishing that kind of across the board buy-in is really important. So, well, I'll definitely be following along. I know y'all behind the paywall on Flow? Is that
Our games are streamed Flow Sports.
Gotcha? I am curious, as two sports business majors, or not majors, but two students working in the sports business space. What are your thoughts on the Flow kind of move into D3 sports and just kind of like streaming generally there?
I personally don't love it. I have friends and family that say, "Oh, I want to watch a game." They're all in Spain. Yeah, you have to pay $5 a month to watch me play. Uh, I think, I don't like it.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
I think the tricky part about it, especially at our level, is there's not necessarily a fan base aside from the people who are friends and family to us and on the other team who necessarily are at large trying to tune into our games. So when you're in a system of Division 3, and this is not always the case, but you're not necessarily on an athletic scholarship. A lot of guys are paying at least some degree to pay. The charge on top of that to watch a game when the viewership is already pretty low, um, it's I don't think any player is a fan of it, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. I don't think there's a reason. There's no part of it aside from maybe having a more organized on-demand space to rewatch games, which most teams have synergy accounts anyways that they use. There's not anything that, from the player perspective, that you would necessarily like about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's been a pretty, I've talked to athletic administrators, I've talked to coaches, I've talked to players about this. And, obviously I've tried to follow the discourse on Twitter too. And like, it seems like viewership numbers have dropped. And yes, schools have been able to maybe hire an additional SID staff. But yeah, I think Guillermo, as you mentioned, like very challenging to, especially for someone who's international, whose family can't really very easily come and see them play in person, to kind of paywall that behind such an expensive product is tough. Um, but yeah, I think we'll see how it goes. If there is a kind of the streams don't really work this season, there could be some backlash, and maybe those contracts end a little shorter than expected. But yeah, to be determined.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I am curious, just like to kind of close things out here. Um, Try to ask you guys the question we always ask guests, and it's very apt for what you guys again are trying to do with College Athlete Network. But if you could go back and give your 18-year-old selves some advice, like have a conversation, what would each of you say to that 18-year-old version?
Hmm. There's a lot of things I'd say to my 18-year-old self. I don't know if I'd have enough time to get to the basketball. Um,
Doesn't
one
have to
thing
be
I would
sports
say,
related.
one thing I would definitely say is to have told myself to, in a way that is a smart and effective approach, get in the weight room earlier. That was a huge jump physically, strength wise. Like, guys, you're playing grown men at the next level. I think for a lot of freshmen, the jump physically is a larger jump than intellectually and speed of the game. In terms of the recruitment process, I would definitely say do not be too hell bent on a school's acceptance rate or rating or anything related to that, or what conference they're in or how many games they won. Be more focused on what seems like objectively the best situation for you and not what seems like the best opportunity from external opinions of other people.
Yeah, well, something I would say for me personally would be just don't take anything for granted. Um, the other day I was in my coach's office talking about the last 2 years and reflecting on them. I just realized how fast everything went through. And now I'm halfway through college and I have 2 more seasons. Um, and if I look back, I wish I did some things a little bit differently. It's mostly like how I saw things, like practice or like having to wake up at 6 a.m. to run 30 suicides. Like that at the moment might sound like something that's tedious or just not what I wanted to be doing at the moment, but all these things really build you up and yeah, like they build you up and make you like they make you who you are now. So everything happen. I'm not gonna say everything happens for a reason. I don't necessarily believe that, but everything that does happen, it does. If something bad happens, it's not the end of the world. Like there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I,
Well said.
I thought you meant like prior to my recruitment process. I didn't realize you meant like freshman year.
Just whenever. I think just pre-college Shay. So
yeah. I mean, I
I
was
think
18 when I was looking for recruitment. So I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shay, I mean, I think your advice was spot on. I mean, so many kids don't give the weight room the time it deserves. And I think, yeah, you not only do you get better as a player, you know kind of can injury proof your body and like make it a little more resilient, and you learn like it's not just conditioning to get you through the season. It's like your body has to hold up, and a lot of that is just the strength that it develops. So I think that was good advice.
And it's a lot too. Like, even hearing how we're describing everything we're doing before the season, like your body takes a beating. But when you're stronger and you have that resilience built in the weight room, it goes a long way. Like, I think I focused the most this summer on the weight room that I have relative to how much I would spend time on the court. And I'm gonna this is the best my body's ever felt, like even before I got hurt. Which is not something I ever thought I would say at any point. So I'm
Yeah,
very big on proper weight room practice for sure.
that's incredible. Don't take it for granted. Jump in the weight room.
Yeah.
Guys, good advice. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for the work you're doing to help the next generation. I think, I'm not only excited to watch Emerson or follow along this year with how you guys do on the court, but I think really College Athlete Network is going to be awesome. Give the guys and gals behind you that mentorship that you benefited from so much. So yeah, really, really well done.
Yeah, thank you for having us,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for the work. I mean, we use D3 Direct as a resource to all of our mentees, and well, I've been following the account for a couple of years now. So thank you for having us, and thank you for the work you're doing too.
Absolutely. And we'll stay in touch. If you are a high school athlete, you're listening to this, definitely check out College Athlete Network on Instagram. Send them a DM, like Shay mentioned earlier, if you're interested in getting connected. And then also check out collegeathletenetwork.net for more information, bios on these two guys, and just to learn more. Anything else you guys would add?
It's all right there.
All good.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule preseason to hop on here. And yeah, we'll wrap there.
Great. Thank you.
And
Thank you
thank you.
again for having us.
You bet. This has been another episode of the Student Athlete Sessions. You can always check out previous episodes on Spotify, Apple, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. And we will see you next time. Thanks, Shay and Guillermo.
Thank you.